So I wanted to talk about this flat Earth. Of course, I'm going to talk about it respectfully with an open mind. Of course, I'm not a flat earther.
No problem. It's okay.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Noel,
I see it now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Maybe in the future, hey, I might be. I'm more open to the moon landings are fake.
Sure.
All right. So, respectfully, I look up to you, Nachiketa. I think
it's
you're
all
awesome.
good. It's all good. Yeah. It's all good.
But okay. Let me just jump into it. It just seems like the flat Earth movement, for lack of a better term, it doesn't attract the most reputable appearing people. It kind of attracts the same kind of people that all confess to being abducted by aliens and having devices shoved in them. Kind of. It's not like so. I guess I think you have an image problem, right? If you want to get me on board, who is the preeminent, most normie? Is there an astronaut that says this? Is there like a quote unquote well-respected in the normie community person that's a leader? Or is it just outliers that are just, let's face it, man.
Okay, well, let me just preface by saying that I have never been abducted by aliens to my knowledge, and to my understanding, I haven't had any devices shoved into me. Again, I might be brain wiped and I have no idea. So I just want to say as a flat earther that as far as I'm concerned, I haven't been abducted and I haven't had any objects shoved into me. But that being said, it's not outside the realm of possibility. But as far as who is quote unquote reputable, like who do you consider is reputable in the world? Like, are you talking about Trump? If Trump became a flat earther, you would say, "Oh, okay, maybe there's something to it."
Just somebody really normie, or real normie.
Give us a name. Give us a name.
They're just so normie.
Who's a normie?
I don't even know their names because they're just so plain.
I'm a normie. I mean,
you're not.
Being's a normie.
Stop. You're not.
He's not. I'm a
normie. Bean,
I feel pretty normal.
I got nothing against you, but tattoos on the knuckles, you're out. Not normie. The most normie person I see so far is Sean, but he hasn't really spoke yet, so that might change.
Okay, Sean, are you a normie?
I feel like I'm a normie, definitely.
Yeah, Sean
okay.
is a normie.
All right.
But honestly, I mean, hold on. I'm just going to spy on Sean a little bit. He's not a normie because, and respectfully, sir, don't take this the wrong way. I'm just not used to Black people identifying with like the lone wolf kind of imagery. It's more like
my understanding.
Zetetic warrior, come and help me, man. I need your help. Hit that link and get up here, man. Do your due diligence over here. I've been holding it down for a number of hours now. It's your turn to step in and give me some assistance here. So welcome to the panel, Z. Good to see you. How you doing?
Hey, Notch. Hey, everybody.
What's up?
Yo.
Much love, everybody. So I am I guess, flat earther, for lack of a better term. So I kind of came up to represent that side. And hopefully we can have a cordial conversation and keep it above board and, stick to the facts and maybe get somewhere. That's my hope.
Okay. I think we can manage. I'm sure everybody can agree to that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I wanted to address a few things that were said. First, let's start off with the Brologic guy. I just thought it was funny when he said he's looking for a basically like a normie flat earther, somebody with credibility who's not a complete kind of outcast and weirdo, quote unquote. And I mean, the first thing I would say to that is, what does that have to do with the truth of a subject, right? If everybody in the world believed a certain thing, does that automatically make it a true thing? Because logically that doesn't hold. So I guess that's how I would answer that is, if we approach this with a degree of logic, it's just an appeal to consensus. It's an appeal to authority. It's an appeal to incredulity. And all these things are obvious logical fallacies, and they don't lend themselves to whether something is true or false. So I guess maybe, I don't know if Brologic wants to maybe dialogue with me a bit, or I just
sure,
it's just an
absolutely.
it's an interesting mindset. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but logically I just find it problematic.
It's like this, and I have a way of speaking it kind of, I don't know, it upsets people. To me, it's like direct and to the point, and maybe I leave myself vulnerable to say things that I know put myself in a position where I seem like I'm a sheep or whatever. But the truth is, let me just try to use some examples, right? Let me try to use some examples. If I had like a motorcycle, right, and I wanted it to be fixed, it broke down, I'm on the side of the road, I'm in dire straits. You know, what is the best case scenario? Well, the best case scenario is like a group of these Harley dudes show up with like a toolbox and get me back on the road. You know, I would look at them and I'd see, oh, look, they're all on motorcycles. So they're down with motorcycles. They have it, their appearance and what they're doing, it lends to a bit of authority, at least in my mind, as opposed to if like a bunch of ballerinas showed up. I don't think that motorcycle would get started. So what I'm saying is this is a scientific concept or maybe a political concept. And and you don't have I know that the experimental medication is a fraud, and I'm all on board with that, right? That's a fraud. It's who knows what that was all about. But what, you know, if I'm open to this flat earth thing. I really try to come into conversations with an open mind. Yes, I have a bias. I have a bias that the world is round. Maybe that's programming. Maybe that's propaganda. Maybe it's wrong. But I think the onus is upon the flat earthers to prove it otherwise. And now when Notch starts talking about trig and tangent and cotangent, I feel like I'm in trig again and I'm lost, right? Like, and my mind, my mind really is not into place to accept that the world is flat. And I want to know the truth, but if you're really serious about knowing the truth, your branding is off. You're trying to sell an idea. You're trying to sell.
Okay, hold on. I get you.
So you need better branding,
dude. But you're going on and on. But you know, I'm not trying to be rude, but you're
go ahead and talk. I'm muting my.
Bro, you mentioned 4 different things right now, man. I'm just trying to focus the conversation. I'll give you all the room you want to talk, but you brought up science. You said the onus is on the flat earthers. You said you're open-minded and you're biased at the same time, and that, quote unquote, we don't have a good message, and that you're also willing to admit that you may be subject to propaganda. So if we're going to have a conversation, we have to focus somewhere. I get it. You were just kind of laying out and stream of conscious, but you know, where do you want to go? I mean, okay, let's go with the first thing. Onus is on the flat earther. Let me ask you, what is the default position? Now, if you never were, let's say, given a classical education, if you were never exposed to media, say me and you, Brologic, we lived hundreds of years ago and we lived on an island and we had a tribe, okay? And you and I were on the beach and we lived in a village and we looked in the sky at night and we looked over the ocean and things like that. What do we experience? Okay. Because what we're told is that we're moving and the sky is relatively still. All right. And we're told that we live on a convexing earth. But does our everyday experience evidence that? The obvious answer is no. We never feel like we're moving. We can stack things up with great precision that stand for years and years. Okay. There's no sensation of movement and there's nothing to show that water curves. So I would disagree with you. To me, the default position is that we live on a motionless earth, that the sky moves above us. So for you to say that the onus is on the flat earthers to disprove the globe, I would argue with that. I would actually say the onus and the burden of proof is on the group presenting the globe model, because that indeed is the story that goes against our lived experience. So maybe we can start there of who has the onus to prove what this earth is. Is it the flat earthers that are simply disagreeing what we have been taught? Or is it the so-called scientific community that's presenting us with a model that goes against our lived experience?
Bro, most people think that are globies or whatever you call us. So the onus is upon you, man. You really, if you're a flat earther, it is.
So that's how you're answering, is saying because most people say it's a globe, so therefore it's on us to. Let me ask you something. If I make a claim about you, Brologic, if I say, hey, Brologic stole the cookie from the cookie jar, everybody, and I'm making a claim against you, who has the burden of proof? Do you need to prove that you didn't steal the cookie, or do I, who made the positive claim, have the burden to prove that you stole the cookie?
You have to prove it.
Right, because I'm the one that's making a positive claim. So you understand that logically, the individual or the organization that is making the positive claim, therefore, has the burden to prove that claim. It's not the other way around. So if the claim is that we live on a globe that's rotating and orbiting and convexing, all right, that is the positive claim. Therefore, the burden of proof lies with the claimant. Why is the claim in your mind on the so-called flat earthers? We're not making the claim of the globe. The question you should be asking is, what is the proof of the globe? What is the proof of the heliocentric solar system? And indeed, everybody who's come to call themselves a flat earther has gone down that road. We've tried to prove this supposed globe, and we quickly realized there is no proofs. So in the absence of globe, the conclusion then is a level, motionless topographical plane that we call Earth, one that is the center of the cosmos and one that is made with importance and relevance to humans. Go ahead, floor is yours.
Dude, there's been plenty of proof that the world is a globe. Right?
Okay, let's go. Let's go then. Thank you for let's going here. Please present your these top 3 proofs of the globe, and we'll talk about them.
Bro, you know, the year is 365 days a year. Ships don't fall off the edge of the earth. Didn't Christopher Columbus prove that? You're laughing at me, Natch. Thanks. You know, space travel may, you know, I believe it.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. No, it's
I mean,
fine.
no,
Hey,
I mean, like,
Bruce.
but no, I'll just be real quick, because like that is like a typical like normie way of thinking about the flat earth, that we're going to be falling off the edge of the earth. I'm just saying, like, I don't think a lot of flat earthers think that way. But continue on, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
He said his
No
3.
problem.
He said
Hold on,
365 degree, 306. Go ahead. Sorry.
You must understand that the first time.
Are you Googling proofs of the Earth? Because you're not. Yes, you are. So instead of having a dialogue, you're running to Google to try to have this conversation. But go ahead, do that anyway. But I'm just pointing out to the listeners that you're now Googling proofs of Earth.
Okay, well, you're very smug. You don't cam up. You're a cunt
smug.
and a fucking asshole. Right?
You can go to my channel and see my face.
No, you can go fuck off and you can suck my dick. I did.
I haven't called you.
I did because
triggered.
you're a smug, condescending
You're
cunt.
triggered.
I am
Here's
triggered
my
because
face.
you're a
Here's
fucking
me.
cunt.
How's it going?
Thank you,
You're
asshole.
triggered. You're triggered.
Can I talk, cocksucker? Can I fucking talk?
I have not insulted you one time, man. See,
you do with your condescending bullshit. You insult me. The way you talk to me is like a fucking cunt. I am triggered.
Bro,
I own it. I'm triggered.
Triggered.
I am triggered, and you're triggering
You're
me
triggered.
more.
Relax.
Me, acting like a cunt.
Relax. No, you're
shut your fucking
losing.
Mouth and I'll relax.
You're losing the debate, and you're triggered because the dumb flat earther is smoking you, and you're triggered. Now, the first thing I said when I came on here was, let's try to have a cordial conversation. Go ahead.
You're a fucking cunt. You talk to me like.
Go ahead.
This is not my.
Dude, you're embarrassing yourself. Go ahead, embarrass yourself.
Can you shut your fucking mouth? Thank you. Listen.
Wow.
Whether I'm Googling or not Googling, who gives a fuck? What I'm actually Googling, if you really want to know, is it just occurred to me, is there a flat Earth globe? Because Bean showed a globe. I was like, oh, is there a flat Earth globe? Because if the Earth is flat, it just kind of, that would be neat. But what I really wanted to talk about, Notch, was the reason I said that you'd fall off the Earth was because as a kid, the first time flat eartherism is brought to our attention is during the Christopher Columbus. And they always said, now Christopher Columbus is canceled, but it used to be Christopher Columbus was courageous because they said he was going to fall off the Earth. And when we looked at it, we laughed at him and called everyone stupid back then. That's the first time flat Earth is brought to our attention.
Midlife Brologic. That's just a story that we've been told growing up, and I remember those stories. And I'm not sure if I would say Christopher Columbus was brave because like everybody thought the Earth was flat, and we would fall off the edge of the Earth, and then he found like America, right? And then it was a big success or whatnot, right? But like we need to just kind of dial it down a little bit, okay? I want to ask you, okay? So
Sure.
I want to ask you, let's just focus on the argument. We don't need to call each other names. We don't need to get too emotional. Z's a good guy. I think you're a good guy. I know
he's not. He's not. Right?
Listen,
I just come up here.
What is wrong with you,
I
dude?
just come up here.
What's your problem?
I'm open to suggestion. I'm open to have my mind swayed, right? I'm not some whatever anti-flat earther. I come up here trying to learn what the truth is. And this cunt keeps just shut the fuck up.
No,
you're a fucking idiot.
You. Dude, Nachiketa asked me to come talk to you. You shut up, dude. Calm down, man.
I'm not the fighter of flat earth versus Globie. Like, that's not even my fucking
dude, you're embarrassing yourself. Calm down, bro. Can we talk about the points or what? You brought up 3 proofs. Can we talk about them?
No, are you gonna fuck? You can go fuck yourself. I'm done. What's up, Chuck?
Dude,
why are you getting so emotional? This is something that's always baffled me. Why people get so emotional when talking about flat or globe Earth?
I'm not even either one, right? I mean, yeah, I guess I'm a Globie, but it's not like it's not like I give a shit.
Barney, the thing is you obviously, and I'm not saying this in a condescending way. I'm saying you obviously do care. You have some kind of emotional attachment to your belief. Otherwise, you wouldn't.
It's not. I just like this fucking guy. He's a fucking cunt. I don't like him.
Oh, dude, you think I give a fuck what you think about me? Relax, dude.
He's a fucking cunt. Like, Notch can tell me anything he wants, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Bean can tell me. Sean, he's the interesting one on the panel.
Okay, good for you, dude.
He was a flat earther. Now he's a Globie.
You're embarrassed.
That's the star of the show.
You're embarrassed
Sean.
because the
Z
flat earther
his voice is fucking stupid, and he's a total asshole.
Is embarrassing you. That's all that's happening.
I'm sure I've
probably said it. That's not it.
You're a complete
fucking cunt. That's not it.
I'm sure, Barney, is it fair to say that I probably said way more disrespectful and condescending things to you than Z has?
Absolutely, I would expect it. I mean, if you did,
I'm just saying, why are you letting another man dictate how you're going to conduct yourself?
Bro, I mean, if everyone wants to tell me how, you're emotional, you're this,
okay,
condescending cunt with a stupid fucking voice. That's why.
Well, be condescending back.
Listen,
can we
listen,
talk,
everybody?
Are you going to do this for the next hour, bro?
Your voice fucking sucks, dude. It really does. Stop talking to me like a cunt.
It's irrelevant what his voice is like, okay? It's irrelevant.
Because you know it's condescending. It's shit. And you know it. He's like,
what?
Yeah, the flat earther is schooling the stupid Globie. You're making a fool of you. Just shut the fuck up. I'm trying to learn the truth.
You're objectively
You're the worst. Fuck. Like, I would never want to join a team you're on. I'm here with an open fucking mind. And it's like, oh my God, I step in a
guy,
big pile
what
of
are
shit.
you doing, guy?
Z,
guy,
you're just a shithole. You're never going to get anyone on your team because you're a fucking cunt.
Guy, I was respectful from you since the first moment I came up here.
No, you
Go back and review the tape, dude.
Review these nuts, motherfucker.
Dude, you know this is being recorded, obviously.
Good. What you gonna do with it? Oh, what? What did I do that's so wrong?
This is a great show.
Notch, where did you find this guy? Dude, you're gold, Brologic. You're gold. You realize that. You know that, right? Can I, Notch, can I please address the points that he brought up?
Yes. Everybody mute up, please. Right. Go ahead, Z. Mike's yours.
All right. So the first thing he brought up with his first proof of the globe was 365 days in a year. No, I don't know how that would prove a globe or a flat earth. Maybe we can talk about his first proof. To me, I don't see the logic that because there's 365 days in a year, that would equal a globe and a solar system. So, Brologic, do you want to maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean the Earth goes around the sun. Yes, or is that not a flat Earth tenet?
No, actually, most flat earthers, if not all, have an understanding that the Earth is fixed and immovable, and everything in the heavens is actually moving above us. So the Earth wouldn't be moving around anything. So we can talk about that, man.
So why is there day and night? The
Because
sun moves around it.
Well, I mean, we perceive that the sun moves above us, and the moon and the stars and all the luminaries and the planets move above us. So that could be an option, and probably the only other option. If we're not moving, then it would be the sky that moves above us.
What does a flat Earth globe look like? What is the generally?
Hold on, man.
flat Earth
You're
globe?
scattered. We're talking about 365 days a year, bro. I'm trying to have a conversation with you, man. You can call me names. You can call me stupid. That's fine. But I'm trying to have a conversation.
This is why I don't fucking like you. If you don't like what I'm saying, then just redirect the conversation. You don't have to be a cunt. That's why I fucking hate your guts.
Dude,
you need
doing,
you need to
bro?
relax, man.
What
you
are you
need to
doing,
relax
man?
a little bit.
You want me to leave,
Yeah.
Notch? Okay.
Nobody
No,
wants
like,
you to leave, man. Just relax.
You're a
dude.
fucking cunt, Z. If you don't like, you can direct the conversation, asshole. You don't have to fucking talk down to me like a cunt. You stupid
right,
fuck.
Dude, relax, man.
I
don't
hate
have
your
any.
face. Notch. Sorry if I fucked up your show. I apologize to everyone else. Z, you're a total fucking cunt. But I do wish
Okay,
bad.
you wouldn't be the only
You're
person
never
that
gonna-
holds that, dude. We're talking about facts, dude. Why are you making this personal?
Because you talk to me like a fucking cunt, right? I'm asking questions and you're being a cunt, right?
Dude,
you wanna
why don't
fucking
you
talk?
go
Let's
back and
fucking talk.
review this when it's okay? Good, let's talk. Let's talk, bro.
What does a flat, or am I allowed to ask a fucking question? What does a flat Earth globe look like?
Because you've asked 7 questions already. I'm trying to focus the conversation. We're talking about something, and then you ask something that's completely out of left
Then
field.
just go on a fucking monologue, dickhead.
Oh, really? So I'm just
fucking
supposed to go where you want me to go, dude, instead of having a
Go
rational-
where you think I should go, asshole. The floor is yours, cunt.
Oh my god!
I asked you what your top 3 proofs for the globe were. You gave them to me. I'm trying to address them, and you're going off, dude.
Barney,
about
can you show
flat
me
Earth globes.
Barney, can you show me an actual picture of a globe Earth?
I want to keep the conversation to his proofs so we can go somewhere.
Well, that's why I'm asking him if he could show me an actual picture of a globe Earth.
The floor is yours, asshole. Fucking teach me. Go ahead, dick. Every time I say something, it's the wrong thing. Go fuck yourself. Teach me the fucking flat Earth or go fuck off. Go. I'm muting myself. You don't say, oh, you're an asshole. You don't,
Right.
You're asking the wrong
So
question.
you
Fucking
just said,
midget.
teach me the flat Earth. Like that, I'm obligated to teach you. The first thing I said when I came up here was I'd like to have a cordial discourse and a conversation.
Can
about
you
the
just
topic.
fucking talk instead of
I
just
didn't
talking all
say
this bullshit?
I'm not getting
Just talk
paid to
about
come
the
up
flat
here
Earth,
and
you
teach
fucking
you about
asshole.
the flat Earth.
Oh,
That's
you
not
want
what
to
I'm
talk
here
about
for.
me and this and that?
I
Talk
have a
about the
channel.
fucking
It's
flat
Ad
Earth.
Synthetic Warrior. If you
Fuck
want
your
to hear me,
channel.
if you want to
fuck
hear
your
me talk
channel.
about the
Now's
flat
your
Earth,
only-
go to my channel. I came up to talk to you.
Wow.
Calm the fuck down. Okay, calm the fuck down.
The floor
Okay,
is his, but he just cannot resist
mute up then.
talking
Mute
about
up.
my fucking
Dude, you have
questioning
control
style.
problems.
Here it goes
dude.
again. Here it goes again.
You have
Just teach me about the
control
flat Earth,
issues,
you
bro.
fucking smelly cunt.
You have control
Just
issues.
let him answer. Just talk about the issue. Just talk about the facts, I guess. Okay,
I am from
he doesn't want you to
Philadelphia.
be.
Good for you.
All right.
let me
So
just
what is the first
all right.
point? Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right, so his proofs were one that there's 365 days in a year. I don't know where he's going with that. Maybe he's saying because there's sunrise and sunset. All I would say is, why would you think there wouldn't be a sunrise and sunset on the flat Earth? The sun comes, the sun goes. Plain and simple. I mean, if we want to get into logistics of why it appears to go down, we can do that. He doesn't seem to want to. So let me move on to his second so-called proof, which was ships over the edge. Again, Nachiketa addressed that one. You were just told when you were young that flat Earth is so dumb because ships would go off the edge. But I would just always say the same thing. Would a ship go off the edge of a lake? No, it wouldn't. Would a little blow up ship go off the edge of your pool? No. So why would you expect a ship to go off the edge of an ocean? It's just something that was propagandized and indoctrinated to make you think flat Earth looks stupid. And the final thing he said was space travel. I mean, if he wants to talk about that, we can. There's a million ways we can go with that. I mean, if somebody thinks that space, well, I guess, yeah, so I was going to say, I mean, come on. I mean, if space travel, you don't think space travel could be faked. And on top of that, there's copious evidence to show that NASA has been lying and faking space since its inception. I would like to talk about any of these things if Brologic could chill out and have a conversation and get off being triggered. Regardless of stories that we've been told, science, scientists, history, Galileo, Copernicus, Aristophanes, NASA, take all that away. What can you do yourself? What can be demonstrated and substantiated? That's what really matters. That's true science, things that could be observed, measured, tested, and repeated. Okay? Now, when we look at this world, the world that is demonstrated through applied physics, the practical world we live in, evidences a level horizontal topographical plane, one in which all bodies of water, when at rest, lie level and horizontal. That is what people like me and myself understand regarding this world. So maybe we could bring the conversation to the actual world that could be demonstrated and the applied physical science that shows this demonstration. There's no evidence that oceans can curve or convex around a sphere. Actually, all evidence proves the opposite, that oceans lie level and horizontal. All right.
So now, let me ask you this question, Z.
Sure.
Are you saying that do most flat earthers believe that the Earth is like an endless plane of land, that where they don't know where the end of it is yet?
Right. So here's the thing.
Is that what you're getting at?
No. See, here's the thing. When you say most flat earthers, the reality is amongst the flat earth community, there's a diversity of opinions regarding if there's anything beyond the known world, what that could be. Nobody really knows what's beyond Antarctica because we can't explore Antarctica. A lot of us flat earthers would love to go and do experiments and raise money and go to the south and do experiments. We are restricted. We are restricted from going beyond the 60th south parallel, okay, due to what's called the Antarctic Treaty of 1959, which is signed by most of or all of the major developed countries in this world. So the reality is there is no consensus on if there's any other lands or things like that. People have theories and stories and things like that, but that's a whole nother thing.
Okay.
So let me get back to what I was saying about demonstrable reality. Okay. There's no large scale engineering projects that incorporate Earth curve. Okay. Now you can look in what's called geodetic surveying, and they do a bunch of mathematical wizardry to try to say that they work curvature in to their calculations. But when you investigate this is complete nonsense. When you build a bridge or any large scale geoengineering project, especially one that goes over water, you find that everything is done using plumb and horizontal, okay, which is Euclidean geometry. All right, it has to do with angles, right angles, parallel, perpendicular, okay, and then you can derive and use tangents to use trigonometry based on the mathematics of triangles and 180 degrees, okay? All engineering is done using planar Euclidean geometry with no Earth curve whatsoever associated with it. We can see over the ocean, or really any large body of water, at great distances. Distances so great that it contraindicates the globe by orders of magnitude. If you can see a mountain from 275 miles away in the Alps, okay, line of sight from ground, even though you are at elevation, this obliterates any conception of a globe. People will invoke refraction like our friend Sean did, who I was disappointed I didn't get to talk to him. People will invoke refraction, but actually refraction works in the complete opposite way. Refraction distorts, it mirages, it compresses. What refraction does not do is magically bend objects that should be occluded by a geographical horizon into perfect clarity over hundreds of miles. That's what refraction does not do. I'll continue. All observations and measurements done with celestial bodies are done based off planar flat measurements. Okay, if you're going to use a sextant when you're navigating the oceans, you have to have a flat baseline. All celestial measurements, and thus all the calculations used to reverse engineer a globe, are based off planar geometry with angles to the stars, namely Polaris.
Let me give the mic to Midlife Brologic. Do you want to speak?
Yeah, I gotta go. Look, I am not some person that puts my life into debating flat earthers. I don't know all this stuff you're talking about, Z, trigonometry, whatever. I don't know what it is. So I have no idea what you're talking about. Your sanctimonious attitude really just turns me off from even wanting to be anywhere close to your team. The thing that I really wanted to say is you flat earthers need better branding, right? Better branding for people like me who don't think the earth is flat, but maybe if you convince me otherwise, it's possible, right? It's possible, because if the earth is flat, we should know about it. It would be good to know. Why are they lying to us? That's another reason. None of that makes sense. Why would they lie to us about the earth being flat? It doesn't make any sense. You've got all of your, I don't know where your knowledge is from, but you know a lot more about that than me, that's for sure. I don't even understand the terms. So it's not helpful. It's just kind of, it is what it is. So that's it. Also, you are a fucking asshole, Z. You're a cunt. Go watch the video, right? If I was Googling something, who gives a fuck? I openly come on here. I never claimed to be an expert. Can I not use Google when I'm talking to someone? I mean, what's the fucking problem? Why are you such a cunt? You want to have a pissing contest? He is such an asshole. He's like, oh, look at you. You're looking at Google. Listen.
Do you know Nachiketa invited me up here to have this conversation with you? You understand that, right? I was out painting a deck, if you want to know the truth.
Go fucking wasn't out here, asshole. Go fucking paint it, asshole. Okay, because you're not winning. You're not winning. You're not winning anyone over,
dude.
Okay?
It's just about the truth and not, dude. Okay, people.
No, it's not. It's you having a pissing contest because you got an A in trig.
So much love, dude. Much love, dude. You're insecure, dude. That's all. You just showed everybody you're insecure.
I'm not insecure. I'm openly. I can.
I have no hate towards you, dude. Much love, dude.
I hate you. I'm ignorant because I don't know trig. I'm not smart in these ways.
Okay, so you're triggered because you're insecure. That's all.
I'm not insecure. I admit it. It's fine. We can't be good at everything. I'm not insecure in that way. Admitting your weakness is a sign of not being insecure. At least how I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, either way, you're really sanctimonious. You're pushing people away. You need to get that Sean guy back. He seems pretty smart. That would be a good show, I think.
Oh, the Globie. You want the Globie who agreed with you to come back and talk about the subject. That's very interesting.
Well, what do you want to do?
Also.
Do you just want to beat me? You talking to me about flat Earth is like taking candy from a baby. I am not well versed in this. Do you want to have a capable debate? Do you want to have a capable fight?
Dude. You can come to my channel and talk to me. You can come.
I hate you. I hate you.
Anybody can come up. This is an open panel and talk about it, dude.
Why don't you talk?
Dude, you're weird and you're triggered. Okay, it's okay. No hard feelings, bro. It's fine.
Okay,
it's cool,
I do
dude.
have hard feelings. Can I talk? I do have hard feelings. I can't fucking stand you. I'm trying to. You keep talking over me. Why would you not want to debate someone who's knowledgeable on their side? Because I am not knowledgeable on Globie versus flat. I'm not. And it sounds like he used to be a flat earther. So wow, how interesting. How interesting. He's a heretic. He's an apostate. Why don't you get someone on your level? Why not? I mean, otherwise you're just a fucking
I actually came up here to talk to him if you want to know the truth, and I got sidetracked.
And you just said you didn't want to talk to him. So go fuck yourself. Go
that's not what I said. You misheard that.
Without even the whole flat earth topic, right? I think it's important for us to just maintain some level of like, demeanor,
civility.
Yeah,
No,
or
this is
something,
bullshit.
whatever.
This is
but-
bullshit. He's been poking me and touching me and pushing me and being condescending and being a total cunt. And just because I raise my voice and say, "Hey, you're being a cunt," I'm the asshole. No.
Well, no.
Check into it, Notch.
No, that's
I got nothing but
Mr.
love for you,
Logic.
Notch.
Mr.
Hopefully, I'm
Logic,
not
can I-
banned from your show.
Notch, let me talk.
No,
to
I'm
you
not
just-
I am.
saying-
I understand.
Mr. Logic, can I have 2
That's
minutes
not what I'm
before you
saying.
leave, please?
No, you can't actually. Some other time. This motherfucker Z pushes me, pokes me, talks sanctimoniously to me. It's condescending. He's a total cunt. Every time I ask a question, it's like, yeah, okay, you know more than me. Whoop-de fucking do. You know, yeah. And then when I finally speak up against it, oh, I'm the asshole. I'm triggered. Fuck you, Z. Notch, sorry I'm such an asshole. Chuck, Bean, Noel, Harmon, bro, I'm sorry I'm triggered. I got to go, but maybe you can teach me father some other time because Z is the worst possible fucking teacher for a noob who is interested in a topic to bring them on their side. I never want to be on that cunt side. Thank you. Bye.
All right. See you later.
Much love, dude. That was a very strange response, but not unprecedented.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, he did bring.
you know,
Well, he did. Go ahead, Notch. Sorry.
No, I just want to say, I mean, like, I don't mind people kind of reacting a little bit and just let some steam out, but like to constantly go like that, I mean, that was a little bit over the top. It's just about having a conversation or being able to have a conversation. So I felt that, Z's approach was fair. I didn't really think, but that's just me. Like maybe he did feel like condescension. I don't know. Like it's hard for me to say like how or why people feel the way they do. You know, we all interpret.
I don't
things
know.
differently.
I thought it was great. I understood every word you said, Z. I mean,
I appreciate
agree
that,
with
man.
you.
I'm just kind of keeping to the basics, dude. I mean, it's
right.
look, let me just speak in generalities. The subject is triggering for people because we've been engineered and indoctrinated to react a certain way to this subject. And I've seen it in so many people at this point where he's not an outlier. This is the typical reaction when people are confronted with this topic, because here's the reality of it. It's more than the topic because we have an identity. Everybody has an identity. We have certain self-esteem and we view ourselves in a particular way. This identity is very tied in to popular culture and society at large. The flat earth topic upends everything we've been taught about our world and about ourselves. So when somebody is challenged with this information, it goes to the very core of their identity, and they behave in a way that's usually infantile and sophomoric. Thus, what you saw with our friend Brologic. This is engineered. This is on purpose, and this is why his second proof was, wouldn't boats go over the edge? Because he was engineered and programmed, like we all were, to think that this is the dumbest thing ever, and wouldn't boats just go over the edge? And that's dumb. And even a first grader knows that boats don't over. Yeah, because in kindergarten, the second day of school, before they even show you where the bathroom is and go through the process of where to give your milk money, they're teaching you about the solar system and the planets and how Earth is a globe. It's the first thing we're all taught in cartoons when we're young. Before we're even taught the alphabet, we're taught about the globe.
Well, Z, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Minus. Okay, so if other land and resources not being, the main reason for hiding the fact that we would be on a flat Earth, what other reason would they have to hide that from people? I mean, because the only thing that, in my logical mind, the only thing that I can think of that would bring them to hide that is land with other resources that they want to keep to themselves and away from the general public. So if the fact, that's why I asked you earlier about, do you think the Earth is like this, just endless span of land, this big mass that has more land that we don't know about? Other than that reason, I don't see any other reason why you would hide it from people.
All right, so you're asking why the lie, So here's the thing. First of all, I don't know why they're lying about it. I can only conjecture and give my opinion on it, and I'll do that if you want. I don't know how helpful it is because I'm not them. I could just say people lie for a lot of reasons. Usually people lie to protect something, all right? Something valuable. If I have something valuable and I don't want you to have it, well, then maybe I'll lie about it, which goes to your point. If they do know that there's other lands potentially, then it would be in their interest to occult that from the general populace because they can benefit from it. So I think that's the point you were getting to.
Right.
Certainly, there's probably other reasons that I could think of. To me, the main reason is this, because along with the understanding of heliocentricity and the idea of a solar system and the vastness of space is also the idea of macroevolution, the idea that humans evolved over billions of years, basically from inanimate objects through a process called abiogenesis into single-celled amoebas, and then over the course of time into the complex organisms that we know as men and women. These things are all intricately tied in to this pseudo-scientific presentation that we're given in modern culture, all right? So these things are inextricably linked. Now, along with that is also this idea of either atheism or agnosticism or the idea of a distant God. Okay, so all these things, this whole quote-unquote scientific presentation has all of these concepts wrapped up into it. So I would just say, if they can convince the entire world that we are basically an accident of the cosmos and that we live in a so-called Goldilocks zone where we just got lucky and we happen to be the perfect distance from the sun where we could be inhabitable, and there's an infinite universe with, ever-expanding galaxies and things like that, then by nature, people will adopt an idea that there really is no God or no direct personal creator being, all right? With this idea, you then can impose a nihilistic society, a society which no longer has morals, ethics, values, and principles. A society where the idea of morals comes down to whatever the whim of pop culture is, all right? And it comes down to convention, where there really is no objective right or objective wrong, okay? And we look to the scientific intelligentsia as our modern day prophets, as opposed to some concept of a creator being or some, for lack of a better term, an overarching, God archetype. So maybe that's another reason, because if you can convince everybody that we're just an accident and we evolved over billions of years, you basically destroy God. Once you destroy God, you destroy any concept of rights and liberties, because even in our Declaration of Independence here in the United States, it says directly that your rights come from the creator. They use that word specifically, the creator. Well, if you can destroy any concept of a creator being, you've necessarily destroyed rights and liberties, and now you have a populace that is basically set up for control, tyranny, and domination.
It sounds like you're saying that this is more of a spiritual war than anything. That's
my understanding. I wanted to kind of maybe hit on some more of the, some of the, like the proofs for, proofs of globe, proofs of flat earth while we're here. Because
you ever wonder if maybe we're not supposed to know? If that's what the creator's intention was for us.
Well, the Bible says you're not supposed to know. The Bible says that, and I'm not saying I'm let's say a biblical person as such, but the Bible says that we'll all be dead before we would know, and we're not supposed to know, which is interesting because all the quote unquote flat earthers are saying is that we really don't know. We're actually saying that they're presenting you with a story, this grand story that they have the heavens figured out and they know what it is. We're the ones saying, whoa, hold on. Their evidence doesn't hold up. We appear to live on a level topographical plane, okay, where there's mountains and valleys, but one in which oceans are level and horizontal. And we really don't know what the sky is. And we don't know if we're the ones who are actually telling you, hey, there seems to be a lie going on. There's no evidence to support their model. And indeed, all evidence shows the opposite, and that we really don't know what it is. And most flat earthers will tell you that the heavens are for God. They're the heavens. The luminaries are there. We don't have to tell you what they are. We're under no compulsion. I'll speak for myself. I'm not compelled to tell you why things fall down, what they call gravity, or why the moon does what it does or the sun does. I can give you my opinion, but I think it's actually psychopathic to think and to say that we have answers for these things. And that's what popular science is telling you. They're telling you they know why the moon does what it does and why there's an eclipse and how far away the stars are and the heavenly bodies. They're the ones giving you the answers. Once they're debunked, there's no burden then on the flat earth community to then fill in a new story for you. It's like I was trying to, when I was trying to discourse with Brologic, if somebody makes a claim, it's their burden to prove it. All right.
Right.
So if you can debunk the claim, there's no then burden to fill in a new claim. So
yeah, you don't have to give the answer as to what's really going on. All you have to do is prove that what they're saying is wrong.
Exactly. So, okay, if somebody accuses somebody of a crime, and I could exonerate myself and say, well, I couldn't have stole the cookie from the cookie jar because I was 1,000 miles away visiting my Aunt Tilly, and I could show it. I could show the plane ticket. I can show pictures of me with my Aunt Tilly on that day, and I went to an ATM machine, and they had me on CCTV. Once I prove that there's no way I committed the crime, I then don't have to supply a new suspect for you. See, the burden is on the claimant. So the analogy goes to anything logically. If I can come in and show you that there's no way that we live on a globe because we can see a mountain from 275 miles away from the ground, I then don't have to explain what the sky is, what the eclipse is, and how far the sun is and what it is. That's not logically valid. That's actually one of the prime logical fallacies. The reality is the globe has been debunked. Where we go from there, the sky's the limit. But I wanted to maybe, get back to some of the things you said about, how you see proofs on either side and you can't make your mind up. And I could see you're open-minded. But you said something very specific. You said, the planets in the sky appear to be round and they appear to have sphericity, right? I mean, we've never seen the other side of the moon, but I can concede that the moon, when you look at it, it lends itself towards being some kind of sphere. I don't have to argue that. But I guess the question is, again, logically, how does the ground that we live on relate to the things in the sky? See, it's only within the pre-indoctrinated paradigm that we've all been conditioned with that you associate the earth with the other things in the sky. But again, what in your experience would lead you to that understanding? Nothing really. You're on the ground here and the sky's above and the sky moves and it appears to reset over and over again. So the idea that we are amongst those other things in the heavens is only something that exists in our minds. That's not in reality. So it's actually illogical to try to associate the things in the sky with the ground that we walk on. That's what it's like to say to people, because they'll say, well, the other planets. And I would say, well, who told you Earth is a planet? And why should you think Earth is a planet? It's only in your mind that it's a planet. Because in reality, Earth is Earth and the planets are the planets. To think that we are the same as those is only something that was taught to us. But there's nothing to demonstrate that in reality, and it's actually logically flawed. We just all accept this idea that we're moving, man, and not just moving. They say we're spinning faster than the speed of sound. All right, over 1,000 miles an hour if you're on the equator. Or if you're where I live, it's like 800 miles an hour. But either way, that's faster than the speed of sound. And that's only one direction. They convinced us that we're moving in multiple vectors and incalculable speeds, okay? That's my point when I say that the default position is a immovable, motionless Earth, one in which the sky moves above us, because that's what we experience. If you're going to tell me that we're moving in all these directions at such a high speed, you have to be able to prove that to me. And that's when I realized, wow, not only is the globe silly, it's actually physically impossible. And when people ask me, well, why are you a flat earther? And I tell them, it's because the model that they presented to us is physically impossible. There's no movement. Once I realized that, I said, oh, the ground that I'm standing on is fixed and it's under me and it's the sky above me that's moving. It's so simple. Okay. And everything that they use to try to explain the globe falls apart. We can talk about the so-called horizon at 3 miles over the ocean. We can talk about Eratosthenes and sticks and shadows, or shadows and wells. Okay, it all falls apart. It doesn't even get off the ground. Okay, not to mention, how do you have a pressurized atmosphere that exists next to space? They'll just invoke gravity over and over again, but that can't be demonstrated. It can't be substantiated. When you realize how ludicrous and insane what we all believe actually is, it's more of an indication to the nature of this reality. And that's where I always like to lead this conversation, to the point where it's really about understanding the deceptive nature of this reality. And that's what most people can't get past. And that's why most people get so triggered, like was evidenced earlier. It's because even a mildly logical and rational mind realizes that, oh, if this is true, if we have been lied to such a degree, the implications of that are enormous. And a rational mind understands that. And they can't grasp the magnitude of such an audacious deception. So they reject it outright, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. The flat earth is simple to prove because it's just the world. It's just the way things are. It's not even complicated. It's the lie that's complicated. And that's what people can't get by. That's why people have such a strong emotional reaction to it. Because as I said before, it goes to the very foundation, the core of their identity. People can't face that. It's difficult. There's consequences. And one more thing, what I wanted to bring up with Brologic was that he wants to know, like, well, how come everybody in the flat earth community seems to be so out there, like hippie-like and kind of, the furthest thing from a normie? Because the reality is, to truly embrace this concept requires, first of all, a degree of courage. Second, a huge helping of intellectual honesty, but even more so, it requires somebody to challenge the very paradigm, the lens through which they view this reality. And that's the problem, because it's easy to go along with consensus. It's easy to go along with the authority. But again, none of that is logically sound. It doesn't matter if everybody believes a lie. If everybody on earth believes the same lie, it doesn't make it true. It's still just a lie. But as men and women, we have certain foundational principles and tools that we can use to derive some degree of truth and objectivity. Primary amongst those are logic, reasoning, and the tenets of the scientific method. And if you are a true scientist, not a pseudoscientist, you quickly come to the understanding that the idea of a convexing globe that's rotating and orbiting at incalculable speeds in multiple directions is physically impossible. I just want to ask the person that says, why does every flat earther think they're smarter than all the scientists? Did you also trust the science over the last 4 years, given the medical recommendations that the so-called scientific community was given? I hope you didn't. And if you did, my sympathies go out to you. That's all I'll say on that one.
People get so overly emotional about whether the earth is flat or round to where they can't even have a fucking discussion or a real fucking, engagement about it. It's weird to me. It's really fucking weird to me why people, and I don't understand why people are so emotionally attached to either side.
Well, because there's implications, man. This is beyond the focal topic of, FE versus, globe. It's about God, spirituality, so-called science, culture, beliefs. So everything's wrapped up in this topic because it's really an umbrella topic. And where one falls in this argument basically gives an indication, usually, into their overall mindset. Again, their worldview. Because if you have the understanding that you live on a fixed, immovable earth, one that is the center of the cosmos, well, there's implications there. Because it indicates a created world, and that implies a creator directly. And it's counter to the argument that we're basically products of an accidental, insignificant, uncaring universe. There's huge implications with this. It's why it's such a hot button topic, and some of this is to be expected. And I just wanted to jump on one thing you said about this flat Earth censorship. That in 2016, and this is mainstream news, flat Earth was the second most Google search term. It was the second most searched term in Google for that year. And at that point, somebody realized they needed to put the kibosh on it. Right away, the head of YouTube was drugged before Congress. This is documented, and was asked by a congressional committee what she planned to do about misinformation on the YouTube platform, specifically the flat Earth topic. And she admitted at that point that it was going to be shadow banned and basically given less priority in the algorithm. So the idea that, flat Earth is this niche topic that's relegated to certain corners of YouTube. Well, yeah, if the algorithm is promoting the likes of Jake Paul and, that Tyler Oliveria and people that are going to do hit pieces on flat Earth and Professor Dave and Simon Dan and McToon, well, of course, it's not going to be larger. And like the gentleman said earlier, it's just sort of a bunch of fringe people who are kind of conspiracy nuts into this topic. The reality is it's heavily censored and suppressed, like many things that are truthful and like most information that goes against the popular zeitgeist and the narrative that promotes the ruling class agenda. So flat Earth has been censored. The information regarding the true nature of this Earth has been around ever since the globe deception was launched. Flat Earth is not a new YouTube phenomenon. It's been around since the mid-1800s and likely before. It was present throughout the 60s and 70s and 80s, and it only became popular on social media, yes, in 2015. But this isn't a new topic. When people look with discerning eyes, logically, and they use their God-given discernment and their sovereignty of mind, their sovereignty of consciousness, they understand very quickly that there has been a massive deception regarding our world. Okay, now the implications of that are massive. So this topic is inflammatory for a lot of reasons, but certainly has been censored.
I really appreciate what you're doing. I think one of the reasons you're so popular is because the open platform. I know you said Z did the similar thing. I hadn't stumbled on Z. I stumbled on you through Rose, through Pro. But I typically just laid back and observed, and it took me about 2 years of looking into the flat Earth topic to finally see it. And I think what it took is understanding a lot of the other lies and deception first. And so I was like, oh, this is how they operate. Very deceitful.
I'll jump in. That's a great point, John. Once your mind is open to the understanding that we live in a realm of great deception, then you can approach it. So I think your journey probably is similar to a lot of people, similar to mine. It took me 2 years also. And I had to work through all the barriers, confirmation bias, cognitive dissonance, to finally come to the understanding. And you have to let go of the indoctrination. It's very difficult because we have certain beliefs, but we think that they're facts. See, most people have a certain foundational viewpoint or a paradigm through which they view the world. That paradigm is based on a belief set. Most people hold those beliefs as fact. They're not understanding they're simply beliefs. And this is not just about flat Earth. This is about so many things. This is about history, religion, I mean, we have people up here in panel who understand the complete deception regarding the popular history that we've all been presented with. It's the same thing. We are taught certain things at a very young age. Society presents a certain story. People operate on sort of a consensus, but most of these things are beliefs. You believe that you're orbiting a sun. You believe that ancient Rome existed like it did. You believe that Jesus was a man who lived, on, the Arabian Peninsula in the land we now call Israel. You believe those things, right? People hold these things as fact, but they are merely beliefs. So when you look at this entire reality, you can come to an understanding of, how we view things, and that most things are subjective. It's very hard to get down to the objective reality of this world. That's why, again, I'm so big on promoting the tenets of logic, reasoning, discernment. You can use certain things to get beyond your own biases to attempt an understanding of this world as it is, separate from your conception of it, separate from some cognitive intellectual model that you have that's comfortable, because it's typically only comfortable because it's supported. It's reinforced. It's reinforced for a reason, because if there is an overarching one world agenda, which I conjecture there is, they benefit from your conditioned understanding of the reality that they're presenting. But these things are very difficult to understand. That's why truth is a journey. People who think they know ultimate truth are very likely incorrect. And we need to approach these things where we can try to remove our own subjectivity from the equation. And when we are presented with new information, the question is, are you willing to incorporate that new information into your consciousness, or will you reject it outright because of its discomfort, because it goes against the community? Being rejected from a community is very difficult. We are biologically programmed to bond emotionally with the other humans around us. This is for survival. Take away evolution, take away things like this. We're talking about biological programming. However you think we got it. We need each other. Our very survival is dependent upon it. So when you go against popular culture, okay, when you behave in ways that are different from the majority, you then are in some degree of peril. So it really requires a degree of courage to approach these things. And the more people get together and the more people speak up and the more people present themselves authentically with vulnerability, well, then the more power the truth has. And that's what channels like this and others like this serve beyond any financial reward or anything else.